Welcome back to another episode of What the is Happening. Today we're going to talk about the post office. You probably know by now that the post office is in a lot of trouble. But why should we care? Why does it matter? I wanted to cover a little bit of history about the post office and some fun facts that you probably didn't know. So let's get right into it. The first postmaster general was none other than our founding father, Benjamin Franklin. The post office was founded in 1775, which is 1 year before the US declared independence from Britain. So the post office is technically older than America itself. It's one of the few government agencies that's actually explicitly authorized by the US Constitution. The Postal Clause empowers Congress to establish post offices and post roads. Wait, what the hell are post roads? I didn't know either, so I consulted my handy Constitution translator. And apparently there used to be roads that were just for the mail. If you wanted to use them for traveling, you had to get special government permission. It was kind of like getting an HOV pass for your horse. Thanks, Ben. Many economists and historians claim that it was the creation of a post office that was independent of England that contributed to the really high literacy rates in the colonies and helped fuel economic growth. The post office employs more people than any other government agency, over 500,000. The Postal Service is the only mail carrier with a legal obligation to provide mail to all Americans, regardless of their geographic location. While the Postal Service is a government agency, it doesn't run off of taxpayer money. This gets complicated, but basically a law was passed in 1970 that requires the USPS to finance its own operations as though it were a business, while at the same time meeting that legal obligation to serve everyone 6 days a week, regardless of where they are. Even those who live in rural areas that for-profit mail services will skip over because it's not profitable to serve them. Hence, the post office operates at a loss of billions of dollars a year. So the post office was already in bad shape before COVID. And now a pandemic hits during an election year when more people than ever are going to need to vote by mail. This is where the controversy starts. The House of Representatives voted to include an emergency grant of $25 billion to the post office to facilitate the predicted flood of mail-in ballots. Now, President Trump has conceded that, the post office is going to need these additional funds to handle this mail-in voting. But then he said in an interview that he was going to oppose any additional funding so that universal mail-in voting wouldn't be possible. That alarmed many people, and it's probably the main reason that you keep hearing about the post office. Many will say that this is a move to drive voter suppression and undermine the election by sabotaging mail-in voting. Trump says that mail-in voting is fraudulent. He often says that there's incidents of double voting, of dead people receiving ballots, undocumented people voting. I have to add that there is no credible evidence to prove any of this. And in fact, there's credible evidence that shows that it's actually false. And you can't double vote. And I'm including a link that explains why you can't double vote. As of this video, President Trump did say that he's willing to approve the funding for the post office if certain concessions are made and they're negotiating this coronavirus relief package. These things keep changing by the day, and the point of this video is not really to update you on the current political status of what's happening, but it was more to just give you some context about why the post office is important. So what can you do? Order your mail-in ballot like yesterday. Text VOTER NATHALIA to 40649 to check your registration status and order your mail-in ballot. If you can, vote in person. If not, send your ballot back as quickly and early as you can. And finally, just be prepared for a weird as election. It is possible that we're not going to know the winner on election night. Do not get hysterical. It doesn't mean that the vote is a fraud. It just means that it's taking a little longer for the ballots to get where they need to go. Be patient, be calm.